Donald Trump took to Truth Social and he was talking about Kamala Harris's appearance on 60 Minutes. Now, he went on to say she was incoherent and rambling, and they had to deeply edit the appearance to make her even sound normal, etc. And as we know with Donald Trump, every accusation is an admission. We know a lot of his speeches and stuff. If you're not there live, a lot of it is edited to make him sound more normal than what it is. That Fox News cuts away when he starts to ramble, so you don't actually hear how bad he is, things like that. So because he's getting protected by the media, he thinks so is Kamala Harris, and that's not the case. She just did a very good interview, sounds presidential, is clearly, not diminished like Donald Trump is. But of course, this is what he's got. He did try to do something, and his favorite diversion tactic is to try to pin whatever grievance somebody has about him on the other person. But beyond that, I think this shows that Donald Trump is unable to change his tactic. These were the same things he would say about Joe Biden. Now, it worked with Joe Biden because Joe Biden would trail off. He'd catch himself starting to ramble and say, well, anyway, and change direction as he was talking. And he was aware of what he was doing and would make the difference. So Donald Trump was able to get some of these attacks about Joe Biden's cognitive abilities to land. And there was some question about his abilities because of his age. Well, Donald Trump is trying the same thing with Vice President Kamala Harris, and of course it's not working. But Donald Trump is unable to change tactics. It's all he knows. And he was preparing to go into this election to face Joe Biden. With the switch to Kamala Harris, he's not able to redirect and switch course. So he keeps going to what he knew worked against Joe Biden because it worked. He doesn't have new ideas, doesn't have fresh ideas, and isn't able to come up with anything. So he just keeps going back to what had worked in the past, and that's all he's got. And I think if you put him back in the White House, he's not going to try for any new ideas. He's not going to come up with anything innovative. If there's some new problem that arises, he's just going to go back to his old playbook and try something out of that. He is not able to come up with new strategy. And it's very telling about his limited mental capacity at this point. And he's so freaked out about Kamala Harris getting any sort of good press that he's got to try to make up these stories about how bad she did on 60 Minutes. Donald Trump was not there on that 60-minute interview because he was offered a 60-minute interview for the program like they do with every major party presidential nominee during a presidential election cycle. Donald Trump chose not to show up because he didn't want to be fact-checked. He knew he was going to be asked tough questions, and they were going to push back and counter any of the ridiculous lies he was going to tell, and he didn't want to do that and be embarrassed. So now he wants to try to make up a story about how bad Kamala Harris did during the interview when she actually did very, very well and sounded presidential, sounded human, where Donald Trump just sounds like a deranged dictator suffering from dementia.